What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathon.
I'm your other host, Elijah Venencia. Welcome back, everybody. Let's just kick it off. Last week we talked about a few movies we liked, and one of Jonathon's was Big Time Adolescence with Pete Davidson. So, I had never seen it, so I had to give it a watch. That was the one off his list that I've never seen before. So I'll give a little review of that. I was texting Jonathon on, I think it was Monday that I watched it, like Monday or Wednesday, I believe. And it was okay. It was a pretty decent movie, pretty solid. My one takeaway from it though was Pete Davidson plays the same character in every movie. I've never seen him not just play some bummy, I don't know how to put this, some bummy, just no life, I guess is the way I'll put it. Yeah. Definitely the same character in every movie. It was big time the King of Staten Island vibes from the movie, but it was definitely a solid movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it before. I saw The King of Staten Island. And so when I watched The King of Staten Island, I immediately drew that comparison. I think it's hard not to. Like you said, Pete is, very similar between the two movies. But I like Skeet, excuse me. I think he's pretty funny, pretty good. Overall, though, I just love Big Time Adolescence. I don't know why I love it so much, but it's just it's great to me. It's just a pretty good, quick watch, good vibes.
It was definitely something, I could throw on multiple times. That's a big thing for me with movies is I like to watch movies multiple times. When I'm on a movie, I'll watch it, maybe a couple times a week or a few times a month. So
that's crazy. I don't think I've ever watched
a couple times a week. That was a bit of an exaggeration, but I'd say a couple times a month at least.
Okay.
A few times every
I still
few
don't
months.
think I've really done that, but respect. I do want to do that with the Batman when it comes to HBO Max, because it's coming out on Monday on HBO Max. So I think I'm going to give that a rewatch.
Yeah, I'm off Monday, so I'm that's definitely got to get that watch in, of course. So are you going to watch Friday Night Lights?
What's it on? Is it on Netflix?
It's on Hulu. Hulu. I know you have Hulu.
I do. Shout out to Spotify for students. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm down. I actually just started watching Ozark too. I saw you reply to our producer, Childish Davino's tweet, tell him to watch Ozark. I took that advice as well, and I watched the first episode. Thought it was pretty good. I've heard a lot of hype about it. It's one of those shows that's been on my list forever, and I'm finally getting around to it. The next half of the season or whatever is coming out soon. I think, right?
Yeah, it comes out at the end of April, and then along with me giving it the stamp, it also got that Chalky Long stamp, so it's valid. Shout out that boy. So I mean, you'll have to give us some reviews here soon once you knock some episodes out, some seasons out.
For sure. Shout out to Chalky. We'll get him on episode here soon too.
Definitely, that's a must.
Definitely, that's one of the OGs in my music game, so we'll get him on here soon. But man, this is probably the most anticipated episode of the podcast. Obviously, there's some that we haven't done that we're not going to do for a while. Those are anticipated, but the rematch of the Aux battle. Obviously, in Aux battle 1, Elijah wiped me 5-2. It was not even close. It was embarrassing. I took it personally though. I've been grinding. When we got these categories, I've been looking through my Spotify. I've been watching YouTube videos, just thinking, what am I going to put on this week to make it competitive between me and Elijah? I think I have, some good choices. I think it's going to be a good matchup. I'm sure he feels the same way. We both take pride in our Aux game. Right now, he's got all the room to talk. We'll see how it comes out next week. If I have any room to talk, I think I will, but hey, we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm a lot more confident in this lineup I have this time around. The first time around, I was confident, of course, but that first win, it just got me right. I'm trying to go back to back like Jordan 96, 97, so I came with some heavy hitters this time. So let's get into it.
I respect that. I think it's obviously all about playing between something you really like versus something people like, and what's popular and what's, not so popular, trying to put people onto. And it's all about the balance. The heavy hitters, though, those can't miss. So I'm excited. I got some heavy hitters too. So let's get into it. The first category we chose is a one-hit wonder. So which song from a one-hit wonder did you choose?
I'm home team, so you got to go first.
Respect. I went with Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison. This is just a classic. This is a vibe. Got to give a shout out to Aziz Ansari, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Master of None. There's a scene in the first season where he's at a bar with this girl and he's like doing a dance. It's the best song ever, and it's Return to the Mac. That just like gave this song just another boost because I already loved it so much, and then seeing it in that show gives it that special emotional tie. Love it. Just a great vibe. Like, I don't know what else needs to be said.
I went in a complete opposite direction here, and this I'm so much more confident in my pick now. This song just screams high school to me. This could have been my 2016 pick or well, we'll get into that category later, but this just screams freshman year of high school. For my one-hit wonder, I chose "Chill Bill" by Rob Stone.
Ooh, okay. I mean, that's a great pick. I was thinking about that for 2016 as well, honestly, because that screams 2016 to me. And it is so funny. It's like we were talking about last week when you're saying my freshman year of high school about 2016. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's my freshman year of college. But now it's a great choice. I like that. We totally went in different directions here.
Definitely.
So we'll see.
We'll see what the
how
crowd's
the audience
vibing
thinks.
with.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that could really go either way. Like, I truly have no idea. I think you have a good pick. I like my pick though, so we'll see.
Yeah, let's get into the next category here. We have 2000s pop.
For 2000s pop, I went with "Don't Matter" by Akon. This is just a vibe. Like, you could say it's a little sad, it's a little whatever. But if everybody knows all the words, everybody's gonna be just singing this song. It's a great vibe. Sing along. Akon cannot miss. Shout out to Akon.
For this one here, this is one of my tougher choices because like I'll
You
hear
were like 4 years old.
yeah, no, well, like I'll hear like T Swift and I'll get out on the dance floor and sing some old T Swift or songs like that, some Lady Gaga. I almost went paparazzi, but ultimately I landed on "Pocket Full of Sunshine" by Natasha Bedingfield.
Ooh, that bangs. Okay, I like
That
that
is a
pick.
banger. I didn't forget about the song. Just obviously it wasn't in my rotation too much. Then it kind of blew up on TikTok, and that song is stuck in my rotation for about almost a year now. That is a certified banger.
I like that pick. I can remember that song being popular in like 2008 or whatever. I like it. It's a good pick. Obviously, I went a little different direction on that, but shout out to Natasha Bedingfield as well. Moving on here to the next category, we have a song with a fire sample. This is kind of a tough one. Like, every song basically has some sort of sample in it. So we wanted to pick a song that had like an iconic sample, super important to the beat, to the whole song, the whole structure of the song. Ultimately, I ended up going with "Father Stretch My Hands" Part 1 by Kanye West. I mean, I don't know what needs to be said about this. This is one of the most iconic Kanye songs. I feel like in the Kanye bracket, we were saying that about every Kanye song, but it's true about "Father Stretch My Hands." I mean, he's saying some of the most iconic lines, the bleach asshole line. I mean, it just hits a little bit different, but that beat and then that beat drop coming into the Cuddy chorus just hits a little bit different. I have an emotional connection to this song because when I was at Magnificent Color Day Chances Festival in Chicago, Kanye was the surprise guest, and they were just playing music between all the different artists' sets. So it was like, okay, they're just playing music because Tyler the Creator left, and they were playing music before the next set. And they played "Flash My Hands." Everybody's like, oh, cool, good song. We're just vibing. All of a sudden, Kanye comes out. Everybody runs from the stands onto the field. It was crazy. We got on the field like right when the beat dropped on "Flash My Hands," and it was just crazy. We were in the middle by the time Kanye started his verse. It was just a movie. That was like one of the best moments of my life, no question. So I have an emotional attachment to this song. And then he even played part 2, which I love part 1 and part 2 together. Like, it goes crazy. But for this one, it was part 1.
Definitely that's a fire one and a great memory from it as well. I remember hearing about that, and I was probably 14 at the time, so I was like, I wish I could have been there, but 14. But moving on, we have my fire sample here. So I've shout out Social Addict on TikTok. I've followed them for quite a few months now. They do a lot of like samples and everything. Like, they show where the samples come from. With mine, I had Otis by Watch the Throne on there initially. I switched it up though, and I ended up landing on "Workout" by J. Cole. Obviously the sample from Kanye West, the new workout plan. And it's ironic enough, he posted the video a long time ago. Like, I want to say it's been a matter of months now since I first saw, obviously where the sample's from, but he posted, the breakdown of it. And then this morning, actually, after I had sent my pics to our producer Devin, it popped up on my For You page that he redid the video and posted it. So I was like, ah. So hopefully it's fresh in your guys' minds if that hopped on your For You page.
Yeah, that's a good use of the For You page. Obviously, I like that pick. Shout out to Paula Abdul. She's also sampled on that track with some lyrics, I believe. I remember like when that song first started popping off, my mom was like, "Oh, it's Paula Abdul." She saying that. I was like, "Oh, interesting." I only know Paula Abdul is like the American Idol judge, so it was kind of wild to see her like music career. But yeah, that's a good pick. I was actually thinking you're going to pick Otis, so I like that you were like that was in consideration at least. I almost thought about picking it as well, but Final Stretch was just
yeah, I didn't want to have too many Kanye songs, so I narrowed it. Initially I had 3. I narrowed it down to 1 now, so
that's good. Yeah, I'm not gonna say who, but I was heavy on an artist with a couple categories. I end up also only having 1. I haven't got to that one yet, so we'll save it for a minute, but let's get the next category.
Our next category, we have a song that is no longer on streaming services or not on streaming services at all.
For this category, I went with Buy It by Lil Uzi Vert. I mean, this is just like a classic Uzi track. You have the iconic picture of him and Virgil as the cover. I mean, I don't know what else needs to be said. I feel like I'm saying that about all these picks, but I'm just confident in these picks. Like Buy It is a song that, I mean, if it was on streaming services, it'd be huge. It's already huge on just SoundCloud and YouTube. Like, I don't know. That's that.
Definitely a fire track. And like you said, a fire cover there. I was, talking with Devin throughout the week. I was like, I have a pick in mind, but I was like, I don't know how Jonathon will feel about it. But, Devin gave me the stamp of approval on this one. And I went with Fuck With Dre Day by Dr. Dre, recently removed from streaming services. So technically it is no longer on there.
Okay.
Obviously just a classic track off the Chronic, featuring everybody in Death Row was on that. So just one of my favorite tracks off of the Chronic. And I wanted to go with nothing but a G thing, but I decided that'd be too cheesy, I guess. So
that would have been.
Yeah, so I
went with Fuck slide though.
Yeah, I went with Fuck With Dre Day. That's one of my favorite tracks by Dr. Dre.
Okay, fair. I didn't know how you're gonna play this one. Like to me, I was thinking all about older mixtapes that haven't, been put on streaming services yet or like anything like that. I was thinking of some songs off Royalty by Childish Gambino. I was thinking about, some other, older mixtapes like that. And then I thought about like this SoundCloud era and I was like, okay, I gotta go buy it. This is the one.
Yeah, no, that definitely came to mind initially, but then I was just sitting there thinking, and I was just scrolling through my Apple Music playlist or like all my like songs and everything, and I noticed it was grayed out. So I was like, okay, there we go.
It's a good pick. That's big brand play right there. Like I like that. That's a deep cut. So I like that pick. But moving on to the next category, we have a song that is an intro to a mixtape, an album, any project. For this category, I went with Trademark USA by Baby Keem. Originally here, I had Stats by Baby Keem, and then I was kind of going through like last minute, just thinking, I was like, I feel like there's an intro out there that I'm missing. Trademark USA. I mean, this just hits. I mean, driving in the whip, it just bangs. I mean, you think about that scene in Euphoria where it's Elliot and Jules and Rue just driving this on, doing some hood rat shit. Like, I want that same energy.
Definitely, that's a banger. I didn't even think about the melodic blue whenever I was going through my choices. I flirted with the idea of dark fantasy a lot, but that one didn't make my initial list. I went with my original pick here, and I went with Stargazing by Travis Scott, the intro on Astro World. Just a banger. Everything you want from a Travis track there. The flow switch is it's different. I mean, not much needs to be said about this one here.
That track crossed my mind as well. I think Travis is almost like a cheat code on the aux. Like Travis will always get a thumbs up from the crowd, I feel like. I thought about the ends. I love the ends, but that's almost more of a personal pick. I feel like the Andre verse doesn't always fit the vibe on the aux, so I didn't pick that one, but I do love that pick. I got to give a special shout out to Playboy Cardi. Long time. I mean, that like is one of the best intros. I wanted to pick that one so bad, but ultimately I had to go with my boy Baby Keem because that's just been in rotation a little bit heavier recently. So, yeah.
All right, moving on here. We're going with a song from the year 2016, my freshman year of high school, Johnny's freshman year of college. Let's see some Titans collide here.
Yeah, this is obviously we're living two totally different lives here in 2016. So I'm excited to see where you go with this category. For me, I feel like I would be lying if I said the song that reminded me of 2016 was not No Problem by Chance the Rapper featuring Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz. I mean, this was maybe the biggest hit of that year in rap. Like it was everywhere. Obviously, 2016 was a great year for rap. There was so many big artists that dropped. So you got a lot of songs to work with here. I'm excited to see where you went, but to me, it was No Problem. I mean, this was just the hit. I'll let you go, but then I gotta give a special shout to somebody. I don't want to,
All right.
name drop something you might pick though.
So, I had to get my boy Drizzy Drake up in here for an Ox battle, of course. He was coming off What a Time to Be Alive. If you're reading This Is Too Late in 2015, and he started out 2016 correct. The song is banging all summer 16, and that is my pick there. That is a banger Drake track. Always gonna be one of my favorite Drake tracks. Reminds me of freshman year, of course. Got me so hyped for views and everything. And like I said, that was banging all summer 16.
Respect. It was banging for me too. For that category, I was also thinking about Broccoli by Drum and Lil Yachty. I mean, that was a hit. One Night by Lil Yachty. I mean, I was kind of considering something about Birds. I was thinking about Coordinate or Way Back. Like those were in the final cut. Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot you could have done with 2016. I mean, yeah. So it was a hard choice. This was maybe the hardest choice, I feel like.
Definitely. And so we had, wrote down ideas between me, Devin, and Jonathan, and I chose 2018. I think 2018 is a better year in music. We can get into that'd be a good battle we could have there, 2016 versus 2018 in rap. So both great years in music though.
But moving on to our final category, a song with 3 or more features. This was a really hard one. This one might be the hardest one. I said 2016 was, but this might be the hardest one because there's so many different songs that have a lot of features, like so many different moods, so many different vibes. I'm going to name drop some here because I know you didn't pick these. I thought about Really Doe by Danny Brown, Absol, Earl Sweatshirt, and Kendrick. Like that song's so fire. I thought about One Train with A$AP Rocky, Kendrick, Joey Badass, Danny Brown, Action Bronson, Big Crit, Yellow Wolf, all of them. Like that song is crazy to me. That might be my favorite, but it's not the one I would bump on the aux. Like I love One Train so much. I also thought about Pinata off of Pinata, Madlib and Freddie Gibbs collab project. Like that goes crazy. You got Freddie, you got, Michi Dark from Flatbush Zombies. You got Mac Miller. Like it goes crazy. That's a great song, super long, but the song I ultimately went with, this to me is like one of the biggest hits on the aux. Like anytime it comes on a party, I'm going crazy. Like I remember being out so many times, so many nights, and it just comes on and it was just a movie. Like I love this song. And that song is Work Remix by A$AP Ferg with Trinidad James, Schoolboy Q, French Montana, A$AP Rocky. It's a hit. I mean, this song came out when I was in like a freshman high school, I think. And I mean, every time it's come on since then, I've loved it. A$AP Rocky's verse to close it, I love it. With Schoolboy Q, it's a yuck, yuck, yuck. That goes crazy. And then obviously the initial beat drop just hits. So yeah, I love this pick. I love this song.
Definitely, that's a fire pick. And I had another track in mind. I went with Mercy. Just such an iconic track there. This is probably my most confident pick here. I think everybody kills it. That's one of the ones where I love to go through it, with my friends when we're all riding around. I'm like, who had the best verse? We could sit there and argue that after the song for 5 minutes or so. And then, there's Forever with Drake, Kanye, Lil Wayne, and Eminem. And then there's also another one that came to mind, I'm On One. That takes me back.
Yeah, that's a throwback.
But all great tracks there. I love when so many big names can collaborate on a song. It just ends up being such a good song. So
facts. The one that this is my final shout out, Oldie by Odd Future. Everybody in Odd Future just hit their verse. Tyler gets his second verse to close it out. Oh, such a fire track. My boy Mitchell hates that song because at the beginning Taco's like giving shouts to everybody, and Mitchell just will turn it off at that part because he hates it so much. I love the song though. I know some other friends love it. So yeah, Oldie, hits, but it wouldn't be my pick. It's just a little bit too long, but I love oldie. I'll bump it all the time myself though.
Feel that. So I mean that about wraps it up on all the categories we have. We got 7 there. I'm pretty confident, of course. Hopefully I'm able to go back to back there. What are your feelings after hearing my picks?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I think last time, I don't know, I didn't do my best, and this time I am pretty happy with my performance. Obviously, we'll see if that stands true after the results of the poll. But right now, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I like my picks. I think the people are gonna like my picks. Yeah, so we'll see.
There we go. That's what it's all about. Go vote on our Instagram story. They'll be out on Monday, probably sometime throughout the afternoon. So go out there, show us some love, give us some votes. Let us know who you think won it.
Let's get it. I'm excited to see what you guys think. So tell your friends to tune in too. We want to make sure we get all the votes counted.
All right, moving on here. Before we get into the weekly news, Jonathon, I'm thinking of an album. 16-track album released in May of 2018. That's your first hint.
Okay. Okay. May of 2018. Ooh. Obviously 2018 was a big year. I know it's not Daytona. That's 7 tracks since later. So May. So I gotta think I was probably still at school. 2018. I don't know. Give me a second hint.
This was this artist's debut album.
Ooh. Debut album. So who was first starting to pop in 2018? I'm trying to think of what albums I would have put maybe I don't even love this album. That could be something, but what I'm trying to think of the albums, I feel like I don't. I think that's it's a trick. I'm not sure. Give me the last hint.
For your last hint here, there was one feature on this album from Lil Uzi Vert.
Ooh, I had one in mind, and I'm pretty confident Uzi was on this album, but I don't know if he was the only feature.
Are you ready to lock in your final guess?
I'm going with Harder Than Ever by Lil Baby.
That is incorrect. The album is Goodbye and Good Riddance by Juice WRLD.
Okay. That's a good one. That's
Uzi was, I know not your favorite project ever, but
neither is the Lil Baby one. I don't know. I thought that was Lil Baby time though. So I was like, I will try it.
Still something pretty prominent there. And
I had to quickly look up the name of that Lil Baby album because I was like, is this it? Is Lil Uzi's on that album though, right? He's on
there's more than one feature.
Oh, that's why I didn't think it was, but he's on Life Goes On. Mm-hmm. Gunna's on that song as well, so that was obviously a bad guess, but that's what I thought. That's immediately where my head went for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm glad I could trump you there. The Playboy Cardi, I remember we did Whole Lot of Red, and that one did not trump you, so I'm glad.
No, that one was easy. That was easy. I like that one though.
I mean, some would argue this one would have been easier, but I think the Christmas of 2019 gave the Whole Lot of Red one away. So
definitely, I don't know, Juice WRLD's that's just longer ago to me. So I don't know. It was the recency of Whole Lot of Red made it easier. All right, getting into the news this week. It was a pretty light week for drops. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like we've been getting a little spoiled the past couple of weeks. So yeah, it's only natural that not every week's going to be so good. So this week we have albums from T Grizzly, an EP from Boz, and an album from Swedish House Mafia. Only threw that on there because got some good rap features. A$AP Rocky's on there, The Weeknd's on there, and Swedish House Mafia and The Weeknd are going to be performing together at Coachella. So had to throw that one on there. Kind of excited for that stream, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But we also got singles this week from Gucci Mane, Duke Deuce, Blueface and G Herbo, and Night Lavelle. Is there anything you're excited to listen to?
So for me, last week was so huge. I'm still banging that, still getting my listens in off last week. So I haven't had the chance to listen to anything yet. If I had to pick something though out of all these, I would probably choose the Night Lavelle single. Night Lavelle's my guy, actually. I think it was 2020. Spotify had like an emo rap playlist, and it was like through quarantine, and we just play PlayStation all the time. So eventually got into him a little bit there, and like Still Cold, that's a banger. Dark Light, that's another banger that he has. So that'd be the one I'd listen to at all these, even though I wouldn't say any of these artists are my cup of tea.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm not really going crazy for any of these artists. Like, they're all good in their own right, but yeah, not really like heavy in my rotation. So I'll give the Boss EP a listen because it's like super short. But yeah, I like the Night Lavelle love. I'll definitely give that song a listen. I haven't had the chance to listen to it yet today. I was sweating over these aux picks. I was just listening to these songs that were in my contention for my choice. But yeah, the one Night Lavelle song that I love is Bad Kid, and then Snot with Night Lavelle, Human. Those are like my two that I would go to for Night Lavelle, though. So
He's got some bangers out there for sure, kid.
Of course, though, I got to give a special shout out to the homies from my No Label Academy class, BDX the Don and Malik, aka Never Not Working, dropping songs this week. Never Not Working dropped a song with Dog Serving called Diversion. Goes crazy. Go check that out. And then BDX dropped a song with our other boy, Kojo, Saint Kojo, producing it. Great track. Go show them some love. Both of them make some great music. So
definitely, they know Jay, but they know Jonathon, but they don't know me. But both y'all killed it. If you're listening, fuck with both the tracks heavy. All y'all go give that a listen.
Yes, sir. And stay tuned for more. We'll get them on episode 2 soon. Who knows?
Maybe it's in the works.
Stay tuned.
Moving on here, Future announced this week that his project is set to drop April 29th. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited. It's been a little bit since we got something from Future. I heard Kanye is going to be on this project, so that's going to be fire. Yeah, I feel like Future is one of the people that releases pretty frequently, so it's been a little bit. So excited to see what Future's been on. Obviously, he was executive producing Donda 2, which kind of came and went. So, I mean, hopefully he saved some of the good stuff in the stash for his project. We'll see what we get on this Future project, though. You're going to get a couple bangers. You're going to get some Toxicity. And that's all I can ask for in Future's albums.
Definitely. I was pretty excited for this one throughout. I can't, at the beginning of the year, we did a video on albums we were excited for, and he definitely made the list there. Like you said, Kanye feature is most likely happening. I hope we get another Drake feature as well. I love it when those two link. I'll say it again. I've said it before. Those two don't miss when they're together.
Facts. That's valid. I mean, imagine a Future song featuring Drake and Kanye on the same track. Like, I don't think we're
gonna get that blessed, but I mean, a man can hope, of course.
Future could pull some strings. I mean, he's close to both of them at this point in his career, so I wouldn't rule it out. It'd be pretty unlikely, but it would be pretty wild if the if the Kanye and Drake reunion came on a Future track. Like, that'd be pretty iconic.
Definitely. And for me, like Future had High Off Life, and then he had his collaborative album with Lil Uzi Vert, and I didn't really like either of those in 2020. So I mean, hopefully we get a big bounce back project from Future.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm not really going for Future full albums. I'm just like some songs here and there. So as long as he gets a couple good songs on there, like I'm happy.
Definitely. Same way. Feel the same way.
But moving on here, we want to take a look at last week's album sales numbers. 5Yo Foreign led the way with 29,000. 42 Dugg and SG's collab tape had 26,000. And then Vince Staples and Coi Leray each had under 20,000 first week sales. That Vince number is pretty surprising to me. What do you think about that total?
It's tough because, the project it's going to rank high in my top projects of the year. I was texting you throughout the week this week, and I was like, I love this project. He killed it with this. It's been banging all week for me. So, I mean, the low numbers, kind of a little bit surprising. I feel like this really could have been the one to, take Vince to that next level, but it's not looking like it's so far. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy. Like you said, it's such a good project. It kind of goes along with Denzel not doing crazy numbers last week. Like, I don't know. It's pretty surprising to see. Like, I wanted to look and see how Vince's others first week sales have been. And Big Fish Theory did 24,000, which, that's pretty good. 14,000 of those were pure album sales. So, I mean, obviously that's pretty big. I remember I want to say he did like, that was when the merch bundles were like really big. I feel like I have a Big Fish Theory CD somewhere. So I feel like they were super cheap or came with something. So that's probably how the sales were pretty high on that.
I wouldn't say Vince Staples is a huge name and rap or anything, but I'd say he's at least, like a C-list rapper. I mean, would you agree with that, or would you?
I'd put him at like B, honestly. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'd say he's right on that border of B or, a C-list rapper. And I mean, that's still, very large, it's not,
like
some underground rapper.
Exactly. I'd expect him to do like 40,000. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, he's doing 100,000.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying
like 40,
be
like 40,000. I don't think is like crazy for Vince Staples. I mean, I don't know. He was doing a Twitter Spaces thing this week, and somebody was asking him about like, who do you want to collab with, all this. And he was like, I only collab with people I'm friends with, basically, like whatever he's feeling. But I mean, Vince is like, he's big enough, and he's like got a big enough personality. Like, he could be friends with anybody, he can work with anybody. And I feel like, I don't know, like that's kind of just what he needs to take his career next level. Like, if he collab with Tyler, like, I mean, obviously they go back a long time. Like, if him and Tyler did a track together, that'd be huge. If him and, just some of these other people that he's been connected with for so long did a track, I feel like that would be the thing to take the next level. Obviously, I feel like beyond music, he's going to be very successful. He's doing all these different brand deals. He did one with Sprite back in the day. He's working with the NBA right now. That's crazy to see. And then apparently he's got those shows on Netflix coming, so maybe those will help boost his streaming numbers eventually. But man, it's pretty crazy to see right now, first week.
Yeah, definitely surprising stuff. Like you said, he's had collabs with Tyler. He's had collabs with Mac Miller on Faces even. So, I mean, he's been around for a number of years now. So it's surprising to see that he's not getting the love he deserves.
Facts. And to me, I mean, he's just like one of the most talented artists out there, like one of the best people in music beyond his rapping ability. So I don't know, wish Vince nothing but the best. So
yeah, go show that project some love. Definitely a great project, something we're both very high on. So it's Second Avenue approved, of course.
Always. I don't think Vince will ever not be Second Avenue approved. It's one of the OGs.
Moving on here, we have Travis Scott rolling out billboards for Utopia throughout California this week. I'm pumped. I don't know about you, but I am ready for another Travis project. It's been since Jack Boys, Jack Boys, and that was it. It's only a 7-song track list there, so I'm definitely excited for this. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't even consider Jack Boys. Like, I would say his last name is Astroworld. Like,
yeah, no, like Jack Boys. Mean, that's kind of why I hesitate.
It's an asterisk, yeah. But no, yeah, it's been a while since we heard from Travis. Obviously, a lot going on after the Astroworld incident. So excited to see where he's at with this next project. I do think it's pretty wild that these billboards going up on the way to Coachella, and he was supposed to be there with Kanye, and now neither of them are going to be there. So I don't know. It kind of feels like a Travis like surprise appearance at Coachella is possible. I don't know who he come out with, but like obviously they could just put the billboards there because people are going to be a lot of traffic in that area. But I don't know. Like, I feel like it makes sense if he came out with somebody there. So I don't know. We'll have to see if that ends up happening.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to that, of course. And, another one, like we were talking a little bit throughout the week, just in the PlayStation party and everything. Like, who are some of the special guests are going to be for Rolling Loud? And, you can't ever count Travis out for Rolling Loud, of course. Currently not on the Miami lineup. And then another one, I'm serious. This is like my hopes, they brought out Kanye in Cali. So, I mean, I can't, like, nobody is too big for Rolling Loud at this point. I'm hoping Future brings out Drake. I think that's my ideal pick there.
Especially if Drake is on this Future album, like, I think it's possible.
Definitely. So that's my hope, of course. So we'll see what happens.
I'm rooting for you. We'll see. But moving on here to the next piece of news. It was reported that Drake has earned more streams than all the tracks released before 1980. This is one of those stats that just like does not sound real. What was your first thought when you saw this?
It's just kind of like you said, it doesn't sound real. But I mean, Drake is the streaming king. He's always going to do numbers regardless of what he's putting out. So, I mean, it's surprising to hear and think about that, but at the same time,
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to like fact check this, but I mean, it was reported, so like I kind of believe it. But it's just so crazy. But then you do have to consider like Drake's been around for a while. Like Drake does have a lot of songs that he's released, and they've all done huge numbers, obviously. So it makes sense that he has such a big number combined. But to say that it's bigger than everything released before 1980, like that's, I mean, millions and millions of songs.
That's
Like,
older than my mom.
yeah, that's crazy to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like we need to fact check that, but I saw the report, so I was like, I got to throw it in here today and see what you think.
Definitely. And, speaking on false reporting, my hopes got up a little bit throughout the week, with the ASAP Rocky cheating on Rihanna news. It ended up being fake, but, I was ready for Riri to come home.
Yeah, like just before we started recording, I saw that it was fake. So it is pretty crazy. Like I saw a tweet, it was saying about how cheating on your pregnant girlfriend is just crazy. And like, let alone being a celebrity and doing it and knowing you're gonna get caught, like that's even crazier. But just doing it as a normal person would be insane. So glad to find out that that was a false report.
Definitely. ASAP Rocky's a king, but like I said, Rihanna, I know you're listening out there, whenever you're ready to come home, I'm always,
Second
I'll be a
Avenue's waiting.
stepdaddy.
Yeah, Second Avenue's waiting. But all right, let's move on to the next piece of news here. Coachella, as we mentioned, is this weekend. Live streaming on YouTube, 3 different stages. Are there any sets you're going to tune into online this weekend?
So I'm not too big on tuning into stuff live, like live streaming it, but I do go watch the performances after they're up, and usually posted by the official account, where I'll try and find some fan videos. I'm definitely looking forward to the weekend. Like you said, he's gonna have Swedish House Mafia. They'll be doing something together, and then Brockhampton as well. Their last performance. That's definitely something I got to tune into.
Man, that Brockhampton set, I'm not missing that. It's tomorrow, I think at 8:15. I don't know what time zone that is, but 8:15. It's probably Pacific, honestly. So it's probably 10:15 here. Because I remember, like, I'm pretty big. I know you said you're not, but I'm big about watching the sets like live when it happened. Like when you're at Rolling Loud, New York, like I was watching them from home. Like I had to watch my guy IDK. I watched J. Cole. I just watched a couple. I was watching Joey Badass. Like I just watched a couple, but I just enjoy it. I'll always tune to Coachella though, because they always, go big for Coachella. I actually watched The Weekend in 2018. I think that was the last time we played Coachella. Stayed up till, I mean, I think it had to have been like 1 a.m. at least, but it was well worth it. I mean, that was a crazy set. Then I ended up seeing him the same summer at Lollapalooza, kind of do the same set. So it was crazy to see, because that really like pushed me over the edge. It was like, okay, Lollapalooza is going to be crazy. Like it was great to see The Weeknd do some like classic tracks that he has, like House of Balloons, Glass Table Girls, Wicked Games, Crew Love, all those tracks. That was dope to see, and then know that I was going to be experiencing that in just a couple short months.
Definitely, The Weeknd is on my list to see. I think he performs. I want to say it's the 30th, and I get back from Rolling Loud that day, so I may make the trip up to Soldier Field, up to Chicago, and go see The Weeknd.
The tickets are low-key expensive. Like it's him and Doja Cat, so people like go crazy for both of them, obviously. Mm-hmm. So they're not afraid to put a premium on those ticket prices. Yeah, like it's big.
I guess I'll drop a bag.
I respect it. I kind of want to go too, so maybe we can figure that out.
Hey, we could have another concert.
It's a business expense now. I tell my parents, it's all for the content. Like
we'll write it off one day.
Exactly. One day we will. One day we'll get paid to go to these concerts.
Definitely. Moving on here. It's been teased a little bit here. What are your thoughts? Is the Donda tour coming soon?
I think so. I think it's been a while since Kanye toured. I don't think he's done a real tour since the Life of Pablo, St. Pablo tour. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense he'd be going on tour. He's had a pretty big amount of music come out since then. You got you got Jesus is King, and then Donda 1 and 2. Something that's like, 50 songs or more, I would say. So yeah, I think he's got, plenty of new music to tour for. Obviously, he's always going to have the hits in his catalog. So I'd be excited to go see Kanye on tour. Obviously, Donda 1 and 2 aren't like my favorite Kanye. Like they're good though. They all have good songs. So yeah, I definitely think it'd be a good experience to go see him on tour again. I saw him back for the St. Pablo tour. So I think it's only right. It's been like what, 5 years since then.
Yeah,
So
6 years.
6 years. Yeah, it'll be six
Yeah.
years this fall. So yeah, I think if he goes on tour, I think I'm gonna have to pop out.
Yeah, no, that was definitely. I remember when Kanye was having the listening event in Chicago. I was telling you, I was like, Kanye could never tour again. Like, and I would. So that's kind of my reasoning for buying it. Obviously, I'm going to see him at Rolling Loud now, and if you're watching on YouTube, came right with the Donda shirt today. So, um, hopefully that's something I can experience. A Donda tour. I've never been on a Kanye West tour, so.
Yeah, Kanye is always going to put on a show and do something crazy for his tours. I mean, Yeezus tour, St. Pablo tour, all crazy stages, crazy vibes. So Kanye's going to do it big if he goes on tour. So I'm sure. Honestly, I feel like the thing that's holding Kanye back from touring is like the inability to meet his demands and his wishes for what he wants a set to look like and what he wants the vibes to be like. I don't know. I mean, he could just do the same thing as he does on like the Donda listening parties, just be in the middle of the floor and just people are in the stands. Like, I'd be fine with that, but I'm sure Kanye has some big extravagant idea in his head that he wants to execute. So we'll see if that can get done.
Definitely. We'll see what happens with that. The Second Avenue boys will be pulling up, if he makes a trip to the Chi or Indianapolis or any of those places. So
it was wild. I think he started his tour for St. Pablo in Indianapolis. I was like, that's just like a random place to start to me. Like, that's just like the middle of the country and it's just a random city. Like Chicago would have made way more sense, I think. But Indianapolis, shout out, they got the first look of that stage and it's now iconic. So shout out to Indianapolis.
Definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be against it starting in Indy again. I think for me personally, the drive to Indy is a little bit easier than the drive to Chicago. So
100%. I prefer the drive to Indianapolis or St. Louis over Chicago. Like, I don't even know. But and we're going to Milwaukee too. So I mean, I
definitely,
would even be cool
but
Milwaukee.
A Kanye West homecoming in Chicago. I may have to pull up for that one. So
facts. That just hits a little bit different. All right, and then moving on to our last piece of news this week, Playboy Carti did an interview with Double XL, and it was full of some gems. Talked about upcoming music, collaborations, Kanye West, all these different topics, fatherhood. Pretty good interview, so definitely go give that a read. One of the wild things that came out was they asked him, do you have to grow to a place to be comfortable with that side of you? Talking about all the different face paint and the way he dresses and all that kind of stuff. He said, I wouldn't give a fuck because it's like, I love everybody. I don't judge nobody. I have gay friends. I have trans friends. You know what I'm saying? I done dated. And then he got cut off and the interviewer said, you were accepting of everybody. He said, I don't give a damn. And everyone knows that. He said, I've dated. They just cut him off. So nobody knows what Carti was going to say except for Carti himself. So
yeah, that was like another thing. Like, I think it was probably a couple months or a few months back now, like with Isaiah Rashad, like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, leave that shit alone, like if that's what they want to do, let them. That's like my stance on it overall. I don't give a fuck if it's a celebrity or, a family member. Like, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I have pretty strong feelings like that and like that about it. And I don't know, like it doesn't matter in the scheme of things. It doesn't change my life at all or anything. So, I mean, more power to Carti if, that's what he chooses to do.
No, exactly. And it was just like, I don't know. I thought it was so weird they like cut him off and didn't let him finish. Like, it's something that he's never talked about before. And obviously, we don't want to assume what he was going to say, but like, he was going to say it and then you just interrupted him. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, that just makes no sense to me. Like, I feel like that's horrible etiquette as a journalist, but whatever. But beyond that, Carti also mentioned that his next project is titled Music currently. Do you think he's going to actually release a project called Music, or do you think this is like tentative until he thinks of the real name?
I mean, that's not a bad marketing strategy. You don't have to think too much of a name, something simple. Not that nobody's gonna I mean, people may dislike it, but I mean, it's just so neutral that, I mean, it's an all right album name. People have these self-titled albums and everything like that. That's about the same amount of creativity as this. So
Facts. Earl Sweatshirt, some rap songs, like music's on that same level. Like, I don't think it's necessarily bad. It kind of makes sense for Playboy Carti, but yeah, I'm excited to get new music from Carti. Obviously, pretty big fan of Carti. Whole Lot of Red was good. So obviously Dial It and self-titled as well, but excited to see like how he evolves his sound with this project because he's kind of switching up with every project. So I think he's definitely be on a new wave on this next project.
Definitely. We'll have to see what happens.
But yeah, I think that just about wraps it up for the news this week. Let's move on to our question from the audience. Shout out to Devin yet again, producer Devin coming through with the question from the audience. He asked us, who is the best superhero, or who's your favorite superhero? I'll let you kick it off.
For me here, this really wasn't too tough of a choice. I'm a huge Captain America guy. You know, they had Captain America Civil War. I was Team Cap, of course. Fuck Iron Man. But you know, it's just, I mean, Cap's just that guy. I feel like a lot of these could be viewed as like cheesy picks, or, you know, this may be one of them. But like I said, Cap's just that guy for me. How about you? What is your pick here?
I like that pick. I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, but I have, of the Avengers franchise movies, I've only seen Avengers Endgame because all my friends were going. So I was like, I'm gonna go. So I watched a little like recap video of all the other movies. So I got caught up. And so I kind of knew what was going on. And I feel like I did. And like, I wasn't lost when I was watching it, but I feel like I haven't watched all these other movies to really develop strong bonds or emotions to these different characters and different superheroes. So I feel like it's kind of hard for me to choose. Obviously, recently we saw the Batman, and I grew up a fan of Batman. Also grew up a fan of Spider-Man. So I feel like I'm between Batman and Spider-Man. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I feel like I don't have enough movies out of my belt to choose. So maybe we'll come back to this question in a couple weeks. But yeah, comment down below and let me know what superhero movie I should watch first. Also, let us know what your favorite superhero is and why, because I want to know, because
That's something I
don't know myself. So
yeah, I see every Marvel movie when it comes out and everything. So yeah, that's something I can go on and on about. You gotta catch up. You know, the MCU is a great thing. You know, it's so cool how it draws all together. It's probably the best, I'd argue, best movie franchise ever with the MCU there. So
respect. I got a little bit biased for best movie franchise. Almost mentioned it for my favorite movie, Harry Potter, though. I'm a big Potter guy.
Yeah, I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, so
that's tough.
We're on opposite ends of the spectrum there.
That's tough. I'll get you on Harry Potter one day, maybe.
There we go. But I think that about wraps it up for this week. Just like I said, we're gonna have the Ox battles out on Monday, probably sometime throughout the afternoon. Go give us a vote. Let us know who you think won. We'll keep it you guys listening will know who the choices are, but it'll be anonymous on our Instagram stories. So just go show us some love and get some votes in there and let us know who won.
Yep. Also, make sure to go enter our giveaway on Instagram. It's been live for a while, but we're officially going to give it away once we hit 200 followers. Go find that that post where we announce the giveaway. Share it to your story, like the post, tag a friend, and follow us.
You know, I'll just throw it out there because, you know, I'm in the market for looking for a new vinyl player. So I'm throwing in my vinyl player as well with the giveaway. Get us there a little bit quicker. You know, I may have to give it away to someone, you know, one of my homies or something. So
that's a big addition to the giveaway. So you heard that. You get Good Kid, Mad City, Kids See Ghosts, and a record player. I mean, what else?
Signed by the Second Avenue Boys as well.
What else can you ask for? That's a great prize for a first giveaway. So, and obviously it's only going to go up. So keep showing us some love. Keep tuning in. Who knows what the next giveaway? Maybe some tickets to a concert. Maybe come to a concert with us. Hey, don't want to give anything away, but we'll see. We'll see when we get to that point.
Anyways, thank you guys for listening as always. Tune in next week.
See you guys next week. Have a good one this week.